So is your goal to fill a void within sports, or is it to do things differently than you saw it done during your early years?
You never heard him, you never seen him come up to me and say, Mike, let's get it on. I want Mike right now. I don't want nobody else but Mike Tyson right now.
Mike Tyson challenges Holyfield to a rematch on Live. Mike Tyson has finally dumped the doctor's reports, and he's back with a challenge for rival-turned-friend and former undisputed world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield.
Title. Keep it. Just fight with me. I just want to hurt them. He can keep his belt.
Holyfield should knock him out within 2 rounds, maybe 1. But if I fought him, I would.
Tyson has decided not to be hindered by whatever has been said about his brain. He's gone against all odds to challenge Evander Holyfield in an exhibition match. Let's see what this challenge looks like. The news of Mike Tyson's health has become a subject of major concern, so much so that he had to place his July 20th matchup with Jake Paul on the line to save himself from further health complications. After being warned by Dr. Stephen Hughes of Anglia Ruskin University and advised by more medical experts to avoid a professional matchup, Mike Tyson has been reported to have canceled his bout against the problem child. It's a common occurrence in the world of boxing, and it has been statistically proven that about 15 to 40% of ex-boxers eventually end up with chronic brain injury. Outrageous number that accounts for about 10 boxing deaths every year. That is, at least 10 past or present boxers die annually from brain injury. And it's not so surprising, seeing the amount of devastating punches boxers receive on their heads during fights. Despite so much publicity, training sessions and efforts exerted into the match that was scheduled for July 20th, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are 2 names that will never end up in the boxing ring against each other. However, while Mike Tyson has been warned against professional bouts, he's felt it safer to contest in exhibition matches. In boxing, an exhibition match typically is an uncompetitive match that consists of 3 to 8 rounds, where the boxers use larger gloves to minimize punch harms or impact on the combatants, headgear, and non-boxing related clothing. It's usually a contest between 2 boxers that won't be matched due to the combat sports experience level of one or both of the fighters. As a result, Mike Tyson quickly moved on from the setback created by his health and has challenged his old rival-turned-friend, Evander Holyfield, to a trilogy.
Well, here they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions.
Tyson called out Holyfield in a video and said, "You all know that for the sake of my healthiness, I won't be whopping Jake Paul in 4 months. He's been lucky enough to escape an early death. I hope we can meet soon anyway." But that's that. That's been a major setback for me. It seemed like a loss because I've been preparing hard for this. But it's all luck for Jake Paul, and I'm moving on. Before putting up his challenge, Mike had a little to explain about his next move in boxing. With the reports, I definitely can't do a bout with these little folks anymore. I wanted to try out myself with the young guns, and Jake Paul was like a test for me. But since I can't do that anymore, I've moved and I'm aiming to go on exhibitions now. At least that's less harmful for me. I'd tell my brain to be safe for exhibitions. I can surely do that. Mike Tyson then went on to challenge Evander Holyfield. And now that I've chosen exhibitions, I've chosen Holyfield as my next victim. He's been seen training Jake Paul, and if my health won't permit a fight with Jake Paul, it can surely permit me to give his trainer some lessons. The training Holyfield had with Jake Paul is all meaningless now, so I can get past that. I wouldn't just have loved to see him train my opponent, but it's fine if he's my opponent and I'll be ready for him. It's an old man versus a better old man in a trilogy, so I'm calling out Holyfield to join me on this one, and let's settle this now. Tyson also talked a little on his relationship with Evander Holyfield and how great their matchup could be.
So is your goal to fill a void within sports, or is it to do things differently than you saw it done during your...
To him, the match between him and the real deal, Evander Holyfield, would pay more dividends than the one with Jake Paul. He compared the audiences of both matches as well as the sway both matches could hold in the world of boxing. And he arrived at one answer: the match against Holyfield would be better. If I'm being honest with you, The matchup between I and Holyfield will make more money and get more viewers than the one with Jake Paul. Jake Paul has his audience coming from YouTube to watch him experience the biggest problem of his life, while I and Holyfield's audience come from all over the world. Who doesn't know how great Mike Tyson was? Who doesn't know how great Evander Holyfield was? Social media has helped so much these days, and I'm sure our trilogy can sell out stadiums and break pay-per-view records. It's what we can do. We have the names, we have the reputation, we have the fan base, we have the influence. We have everything it takes to make this matchup the fight of the century. Tyson then went on to highlight the crises that's characterized many of his losses during his boxing career. Stick around till the end of the video to have a deeper insight into some of the crises that hindered Tyson from maintaining an invincible career. Again, the baddest man on the planet revealed that he's not been hungrier for revenge against any other person than Evander Holyfield. And though it's an exhibition, a revenge remains a revenge. It's been one of my biggest dreams to fight Holyfield again. It is a silent prayer I pray. The opportunities have been there, but for some reasons, it's never happened. And I hope it happens this time. I'm not one to give excuses, but I had some issues to deal with every time I lost. Yeah, Holyfield is a great fighter, but most of my losses came in between crises. But that's no excuse anyways. If I've got this chance at a revenge, I'd take it. Reiterating his challenge, Tyson declared, "I want Evander Holyfield to accept the challenge, and I feel he will. Because this bout is something we've always planned, but we've just never had it. For some reasons, we've never had it. This time, I want us to work so much on it." Tyson and Holyfield have a long, rich history together as boxers, rivals, and now, friends, and talks about their trilogy have been on for some years now. However, in a twist of events, Evander Holyfield was the one to first challenge Mike Tyson to an exhibition match. 61-year-old Evander Holyfield, who has not fought since his loss in an exhibition match to Vitor Belfort, claimed he offered to fight Tyson in an exhibition bout before Jones Jr. was announced as his opponent in an 8-round exhibition match. The thing is that if it's meant to be, it will happen. Either way, it is what it is. What I can tell you is that my team is talking to Mike's management, so I'm waiting for a decision. They are communicating right now. The thing is, I'm still training for this. I know it will be someday this deal will happen, and I'm ready for him. I'm doing. However, the former world heavyweight champion then accused Tyson of using the fight against Jones Jr. at the Staples Center in Los Angeles as a tune-up ahead of their potential trilogy bout. Tyson and Jones Jr. went the distance over 8 rounds lasting 2 minutes each, with the fight declared a draw despite Tyson's apparent dominance. Holyfield continued his comments in an interview where he was asked about Tyson's response to his challenge. "My side tried to make the fight happen and we got nothing but excuses. Now I can see why he wanted a tune-up fight before thinking about fighting me." Holyfield then went on to talk about the huge prospects and benefits a match with Mike Tyson would do to him, Tyson, and the whole of boxing. "Roy Jones was a good local opponent for Mike, but a fight with me would be a global event, and the only fight that anyone wants to see is a fight between us. There is absolutely no reason why we shouldn't make it happen. No more excuses. This is the fight that must happen for both our legacies. Saturday night you said you were ready to fight me, so sign the contract and get in the ring, Tyson. The world is waiting and it's on you now. I'm ready." Once, The Real Deal has claimed that the only fight that will bring him back into the boxing ring will be against Iron Mike Tyson. However, he had an exhibition match against Vitor Belfort 3 years ago, where he had a terrible loss in the first round. Evander Holyfield, months shy of his 59th birthday, was stopped on his feet by former UFC champion Vitor Belfort, just 149 into the opening round at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Belfort swarmed Holyfield from the opening bell and never backed down in the Triller Fight Club main event as former President Donald Trump watched on from the commentary booth. The former heavyweight champion, one of boxing's all-time greats, showed no resistance at all in his first fight since a decade ago. A flurry of punches sent Holyfield to the canvas, and after he beat the count, Belfort let his hands go until the ref wisely stopped the fight, saving Holyfield from further punishment. Belfort, who was boxing for just the second time after an illustrious MMA career, took the opportunity to set up what he hopes is his next fight. Though the loss against Belfort came as an interruption, Holyfield still looks set to fight the baddest man on the planet. Moving on, when he was asked about a Tyson versus Holyfield trilogy and the financial potentials of the matchup, the former two-weight undisputed champion said, "My views are you always help people. I try to pass on the goodness that was passed on to me. Where an opportunity is available, I like to make the best out of what I have. I believe if I fought Mike, the fight will generate $200 million. It will be the biggest fight there is. That's the honest truth. I think Mike has my message already. It's a decision he has to make now, and we both have to be in an agreement." In the same interview, Holyfield also talked about the infamous ear-biting fight and just how long it took him to forgive Tyson. Holyfield once again went over the details of how he forgave Tyson so quickly, despite being livid initially. "In the ring, I was getting ready to bite him back. I was going to bite him back in the face, on the cheek," he revealed. "My trainer was saying, 'Keep your mind on the Lord,' because the prophet told us something was going to happen in there. I thought I was going to get hit with an elbow or a headbutt, but never thought about the ear." Once I got into the locker room, and some of the people started getting loud, saying, "I can't believe he did this," I said we got to forgive him. When asked about his plans for the matchup against Tyson, Holyfield chose to keep it a secret. "I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm going to do. My strategy I'm planning on using against Mike. I don't want anyone to know. I'm happy if Mike fights me." Notwithstanding, Mike Tyson's positivity as regards Holyfield accepting the challenge must have been motivated by his own actions when Holyfield challenged him a few years ago. After initially ruling it out, Iron Mike made a U-turn, with a 21.5 million pounds offer believed to have persuaded him. When queries about the matchup back then, Tyson said, "I see that happening in the near future, me and Holyfield. Only thing we have to do is get some small fundamental differences resolved, get some paperwork done, and then it's on to the races with me and Evander. I just want everybody to know the fight is on with me and Holyfield." Holyfield's a humble man, I know that, and he's a man of God, but I'm God's man. And listen, I'm going to be successful May 29th. The former heavyweight rivals were scheduled to collide on May 29, 2021 at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. However, the match never happened. After talks delayed about a potential exhibition match against Tyson, Holyfield went on to confess he was no longer interested. "It's too late. I'm done now," the 59-year-old Holyfield said. The two boxing legends were in discussions for a third fight in early 2021, but nothing came to fruition. Holyfield's representatives said at the time that they believed the bout was a done deal, but Tyson rejected a $25 million offer. Regardless of what's been previously believed, it's not the first time Holyfield and Mike Tyson are having a match canceled. And when it first happened, it was longer and more complicated than this. Tyson and Holyfield were originally scheduled to fight on June 18, 1990, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tyson, the undisputed world heavyweight champion, was guaranteed more than $22 million, and Holyfield, the undisputed #1 heavyweight contender, was guaranteed more than $11 million. However, those plans went down the drain when Tyson lost the title to James "Buster" Douglas, an underestimated underdog, by a 10th-round knockout in February 1990 in Tokyo, Japan. 8 months later, on October 25th, Douglas lost the title to Holyfield by a third-round knockout in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield had a contractual agreement to fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship on November 8, 1991, finally settling an intense rivalry that started out in a sparring session. Holyfield wasn't afraid because he had been in the ring with Tyson before, in 1984, when both were Golden Gloves champions. Holyfield was a light heavyweight then, but the day they sparred, they were so vicious, trainers jumped in the ring to separate them before the 3-minute round ended. Tyson, then 18, already had the image of an assassin. But Holyfield didn't freeze into an ice sculpture and then melt as so many Tyson opponents would. Their professional careers were on a collision course in 1990. Tyson was the champion, but Buster Douglas, who also wasn't afraid, dethroned him in Tokyo. Holyfield then dethroned Douglas, but to justify the title, he knew he needed to fight Tyson. About justifying his title with a titleless Tyson, Holyfield said, "Make the match. I know Mike, I'll beat him. You gotta fight him to get his respect, then box him," Holyfield said 2 months ago. "You got to box him to get him in a corner, then fight him. He's probably going to hit me, and I'll drop, but if I hit him, he'll drop too. He's not the type of person to get up a lot. Most punchers aren't accustomed to taking punches." However, a couple of tragic events teamed up to ensure a cancellation of the matchup set for November 1991. On August 3, 1991, there were reports of a grand jury investigation involving Mike Tyson about a complaint filed with the Indianapolis Police Department by an 18-year-old woman accusing the ex-champ of sexually assaulting her in July 1991. On October 20, 1991, Tyson was said to have pulled out of his bout with Holyfield because of a rib injury. This announcement came only hours after a request by Tyson to delay his rape trial was denied by Marion County Judge Patricia Gifford. Regardless, Mike Tyson's promoter, Don King, hoped to reschedule the event for January 20th, 1992.
The headbutt in the second round, which opened the gash on your eye. Tell us about that first, please.
He butted me in the first round, but then he butted me again in the second round. Then as soon as he butted me, I watched him. He had me holding and he looked right
1 week before Tyson would go to trial for rape and eventually get convicted. As a result, nothing came of it. And even when Mike Tyson returned, Holyfield's 3 losses cast doubt on the revival of the matchup. When Holyfield struggled to beat Bobby Xiz, he appeared to be just another statue to be shattered in Tyson's comeback. Tyson returned from prison with 4 consecutive knockout wins, while Holyfield was looking the exact opposite of what he was 5 years earlier. Tyson returned, and the fight was finally scheduled for May 3rd, 1997. However, it was postponed again until June 28th, due to a cut Tyson suffered over his left eye during training. The cut occurred when Tyson butted heads with a sparring partner, and finally, on June 28th, 1997, the match held. Tyson and Holyfield met in the center of the ring at the opening bell and engaged in the kind of furious combat that no heavyweight fight fan had seen in years. They swung wildly and then collapsed into clinches, shoved each other away, and finally resumed battle as the cycle began again. It was breathtaking, especially when it became clear that Holyfield would not be flattened by Tyson's straight-ahead shots. In the second round, Holyfield, who wasn't known as a big puncher, hit Tyson with a left hand that seemed to stagger him. At the end of the round, Tyson paused on his way to his corner and looked at Holyfield as if puzzled. The fight went 8 more rounds, until referee Mitch Halpern stopped it less than a minute into the 11th, but afterward, Tyson could recall none of them. Tyson was always a threat, of course, and in the 5th round, he unleashed a right to Holyfield's body and an uppercut to his chin, reminding everyone of his power. In the 6th round, Holyfield opened a small cut above Tyson's left eye with an unintentional headbutt and then decked him with a left hand to the shoulder as the 16,325 people chanted Holyfield's name. Tyson was definitely in trouble. In the 7th, he kept looking to Halpern, complaining about headbutting, and later in that round, he rushed Holyfield face first and inadvertently smashed his left eye into Holyfield's shaved head. Tyson tried trading punches with Holyfield in the 10th, but that turned ugly for him when Holyfield hit him with a powerful combination, followed shortly by a right to the head and backed him into the ropes. In all, Holyfield hit Tyson 23 times in the 10th. It had been a long time since anyone had seen Tyson saved by the bell. The fight was effectively over, but it went 37 seconds into the 11th round when a big right to Tyson's head slammed him into the ropes again, and Halpern embraced him in protection.
and I saw him and he was going for it and he kept going for it and he butted me again. He kept going down and coming up and he charged into me. And no one warned him, no one took any points for him. What am I to do? This is my...
As soon as he hit him, he got a clean right hand, a straight punch, which he normally doesn't throw a lot of.
Let go!
and a quick right by Tyson. Tyson then with the crowd behind Holyfield.
I don't remember that round, Tyson would say. I got caught in something strange. And once more, the world of boxing hopes to see the two greatest heavyweight boxers of the last 4 decades face off again. Even if it's an exhibition match, any match between Holyfield and Tyson is sure to be delightful. Let's see what the future holds for this matchup. If you enjoyed watching this video, kindly hit react by hitting the like button. To stay updated with the latest news in the world of boxing, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications as well. Until next time, peace out.